So what would happen if NASA designed a guitar? You'd end up with a guitar named after liquid hot magma. Magma.
Guitar Stuff with John.
Welcome to another Guitar Stuff with John. Boy, we have an interesting little exercise here today. I've been asked on numerous occasions to find out more about the company called Lava Music. They make guitars, and they make very unique guitars that I've seen pictures of them, and I think I saw them at the NAMM show in Anaheim, and they're a very distinct, unusual instrument. And I happen to have, they sent me two of them. This is paid promotion, so they are giving me these guitars in lieu of payment for the review. And but mind you, they've been told that reviews are 100% honest. So there's pros and cons to these guitars. So I'm going to do the first one I'm going to do, though, is the big boy, what they call the Lava Me Stage Pro. And this is it. It's a very interesting looking guitar. It seems like one piece, but it's not. The back is completely round, like an ovation sort of idea. It has these are all man-made components that it's built from. Everything's either carbon fiber or this kind of military grade plastic like Ovation uses. It's a polymer of some sort. There's aluminum involved in the neck. It's a completely man-made instrument. And the top is a fascinating piece of design because they say that there's times in the top where the thickness is only a millimeter. So there's parts of this top that are literally just like paper. And so the first thing we have to do is just hear it acoustically, and this is what it sounds like in the air. It's not bad. It's actually quite pleasant. It sort of has that gentle kind of woofiness in the bottom end that's very surprising for the depth of the body. Not bad. It's just not bad at all. It's actually surprising from the how it's built that it has any acoustic sound whatsoever, but it does. And it also has onboard effects like the Yamaha LTAs. So you just hold down your volume button right here, and you hear something inside the guitar that clicks. I don't know what that is, but it's something turning on. It's something physical turning on inside. And so you have delay and chorus. You have a switch for that in here. You have a reverb wheel, and this button here is your level of these effects. So I'm going to crank up the chorus. I love chorus. Turn on chorus. Pretty subtle, not as much depth as the LTA, but it's okay. So there's the chorus. It also has a delay on it, which we can switch here with the, turn that on the delay. And you can tap time your return. So you just tap your effects button at the tempo you want the return to come back at, and so you can change the timing of the delay. Right? I could change that if I wanted to. So that's kind of cool. Back to our course. It's a very subtle course. So if we turn the course right off, here's the reverb, which is another wheel just right here. Now the reverb is pretty bad. It's very thin. There's no bottom end in the return of it. Sorry about that, but this is just the way it is. Yeah, it's not a good sounding reverb. But with that being said, this is the Lavami Stage Pro guitar. So there's the pickup system that's in this guitar is designed by L.R. Baggs in collaboration with Lava. So let's plug it in and see what it sounds like plugged in, because I suspect that it's going to perform differently and possibly better plugged into a speaker. So here, let's plug it into the old Fishman and see what we got. All right, so we're plugged in, and here is the sound of just the piezo. It's really actually quite good. And here's the sound of the microphone, all microphone. Very dead sounding. There's just not a lot there. It's pretty bad. So here's a mixture of the two. Let's turn the chorus on. Whoa. So that changes everything. The chorus, adding the chorus to it seemed to change the volume tremendously. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's not tremendously good. Turn the chorus off. Let's try the reverb. Wow. Wow. The reverb is really not good. It's not a good reverb. Yeah, it's, if you're just dealing with the pickup, the sound of the pickup on its own, with none of the onboard stuff, it sounds really good. Yeah. The other thing that I'm noticing too that really bothers me is that it's just about to take off. There's a feedback issue. I don't know if you can hear that. Also, I want you to listen how loud the signal is. Like that's really bad. It's got a lot of signal noise. And if you take the guitar away from your body, it's just about to take off. Like, and it's not that loud. So, yeah, I mean, it's okay. If you were, I mean, I could definitely see this working on stage if you're just a rhythm player. You'd have to be careful. It's pretty volatile. Like, I don't know if it's the body shape or I don't know. I'm not sure. But it has a tendency there is a low end somewhere around maybe 600 to 800 hertz that's about to take off all the time. The effects, especially the chorus and delay, seem to increase the volume of the guitar substantially, which is another issue that's a bit weird. But yeah, I mean, it's the microphone doesn't sound like much on its own. If you blend it with the piezo, it does sound. It does warm the piezo up, which I believe is what they are trying to do. I don't think they would EQ this microphone to do just that, to take that wonky honky blatting piezo tone out of the guitar, and it does that perfectly. So the microphone is of definite use in the system when you're plugging it in. So let's go to some close-ups, and I'll show you some things about the guitar that are really cool. So let's take a look at this bad boy up close. So this the color of this thing is really cool. It's sort of like a flesh tone, kind of bronze, metallic looking color. It's very interesting looking. And so here we have a graphite nut, of course, and the fingerboard is also a man-made material. I'm not sure exactly what they call it, but they're actually building and creating materials to build these guitars with. And here we see the composite top, which is a carbon weave. As you see, it's really actually pretty. It's nice looking. It's a nice looking thing. There's your lava symbol right here. That's really cool. And this nice little round kind of graphite bridge, graphite nut, graphite pegs. And then if we slip over to the back, we see the back of this instrument, which is just that composite material. Very interesting. You'd never expect a guitar to be built out of something like this. And the neck feels super satiny soft. They've got these really nice kind of antique butterbean tuners that are very smooth, hold their tune exceptionally well. Now, here we go with I just want to do a quick look at this, because this is the guts of the electronics. So on this button here, you have your effect and your tap tempo setter. So it's just a dial button, right? And don't mind the glue. They had this protective cap over these buttons when it shipped, so that's why that little bit of glue is there. So then we have the volume button and your on and off switch. And then we have turbo, which is that button that you would hit if you in the middle of a solo and you want to jump up about 50%. This does it. And then if we turn it around, you can see here is the internals. Reverb is a dial just right there. The microphone is the microphone's right there on the microphone is right there on the or maybe that could be an adjustment. No, I think that could be the mic itself. Anyhow, there's your reverb dial, your mix control, which mixes between the piezo and the microphone on board, which I think that could well be the mic right there. Yeah, it looks like it probably is. And then you have your delay and course. You switch between them up top, right? That's a toggle switch right there, as you can see. There we go. Little toggle button right here. Boom. Right there. And that's about it. The only other thing that's on this guitar that's very fascinating is this. That right there. That, my friends, is a USB-C in. And that's how this guitar is powered. It's powered by a lithium battery inside the guitar that you charge out of the wall through a USB-C cable, like a phone. Now, that's another reason why I would not use this guitar, although they say that you can get hours and hours and hours off a single charge. I would never trust that. I would be so paranoid that in the middle of a show that this battery would die, and there's no way to just pop another battery in it. You're at the mercy of the charge taking effect the way you want it. Now, here's another. I just want to show everybody how high the action is on this guitar, because it was something that really kind of threw me for a loop. So, now, if you see this here, I like my action at 2.25, right? This, at the 12th fret, is closer to 325. Right there. See that? 325 compared to 225. It's a whole millimeter higher, which is huge. I mean, it's just humongous. That's a lot of action difference. Like, I just can't play a guitar with that high in action. I can, but I can't do it with any great facility, and my hand gets tired. I have pain in the hand the next day, etc., etc. I wish there was a way to adjust this. I wish there was a truss rod. I wish there was some way to just take that down 1.5 millimeters, and this guitar would play like a dream. But you can take it down by, you know, taking out the saddle and shaving that down. But then you're in that realm of possibly ruining the contact between the bottom of the saddle and your piezo underneath. So yeah. Anyhow, that's just a nitpicky thing, but that's me. Somebody else might like an action that high. You know, people that play heavy rhythm and stuff might be great for them. But for me, the kind of things that I do, not so good. Anyhow, but yeah, it's a beautifully made guitar. It really is. The materials are amazing, and the feel of it is amazing. And yeah, it's a really, really cool instrument. It's got a lot of nice gadgets on it. And there you go. There's the Lava Me Pro. Lava Me Pro. So, what are my final thoughts on the Lava Me Pro? Well, number one, I'll give you the pros first. No, let's give you the cons first. The cons are, number one, it doesn't have a truss system in it. Or if it does, I'm not aware of it. I can't see anywhere where there would be an adjustment. So this neck angle and saddle height are it. And if you want to adjust the saddle height, you're taking a chance on disturbing the piezo inside, which might disturb the individual string volumes, which is a serious problem with piezo pickups. So I wouldn't even want to attempt that. It would just be terrifying for me to mess with this and end up with it being unplayable. So the other con is the other cons are the feedback issues that seem to occur when you plug it in. It does have a feedback issue, and I'm not sure. You just have to be really careful. When I'm putting it through this amplifier, it's dead flat, no feedback reduction, like no auto feedback reduction, nothing on it. But I test all guitars that way because my personal guitars with the K&Ks in them, they have no feedback issues unless you hold the sound hole right up to the speaker. This guitar, just the back of it showing to the speaker is causing it to start to take off. The effects, the reverb is terrible. I'm sorry, but it just is. It's very high-end, shrill sounding, unrealistic. It's just a bad reverb. The chorus is good. The delay is nice, that you can change the timing of the return is nice. The turbo button is really cool, where you can hit that button and come up 50% in your volume. Yeah, and so would I recommend this guitar to somebody? Well, the answer is yes. If you're looking for an indestructible instrument that's going to sound really actually quite good plugged in, if you don't mess around with too many effects, this guitar sounds really good plugged in. It does. It sounds very natural. And if you want a guitar that's kind of cool for the studio, that has a tone, you know, that's not like anything else you've got. It could be a really cool rhythm instrument, or perhaps, I don't know. There's all kinds of different uses for it. But, and the price point, which appears to be somewhere around $1,600 Canadian, is high. It's pretty high for a guitar of this nature for what this thing actually does. And, but it's revolutionary. right? It's the idea that you can make a guitar like this, you know, that comes across as almost being one piece, one solid piece, and just it's to be this lively, to be made out of composite material is very impressive. And like I said, there's a guitar for everybody and everybody for a guitar. There's people out there that will see this and go, yeah, I want that guitar because it's cool. It does this, this, and this. And then you've got guys like me, right? I could never use this guitar on stage because I don't trust the feedback issues. The action is not where I would have it to play the things that I play. And although you could take this guitar to the North Pole or to the Sahara Desert, and it'll be exactly the same in both places. The joys of composite instruments, right? So, anyhow, I would say that on this particular guitar, and I haven't delved into everything that it does. I mean, I've covered the high points and told you about, you know, how it's made. You can look it up online under lavamusic.com, I think is what their website is. And yeah, check it out. They're very, very interesting. They're very interesting guitars. They're not like anything else out on the market. And yeah, you'll have a lot of you'll turn a lot of heads if you show up with this thing. I can tell you that much. It's pretty different. And I thank Lava Music for sending it to me. And yeah. There you go. There's the Lava Me Pro. Stage Pro, right here. This is what they want you to jump up on stage and tear with, which you could, if you like a high action. Anyhow, I'm JP Cormier. This has been Guitar Stuff with John. I will be reviewing the other Lava Me guitar shortly, which is another beast altogether, and it has a whole other function, which is one of the things I want to talk about when I do that guitar. Lava Music is, I should close by saying their mandate is to create communities of guitar players all around the world and to facilitate them on a platform where everybody can show their stuff and learn and practice and share. And that's commendable that they're doing that. And this guitar, you know, is part of that mandate. So we're going to talk more about that in the next review of their of the Lava Me. You just wait. There's another one, and you're gonna freak because it's something I've never seen before, and is very fascinating. So there you go, boys and girls. Guitar Stuff with John, the Lava Me Pro stage model right there. And it does have a lot of kick to it for a little tiny composite guitar. Yes, sir.